Hey guys, this is part 2 of my Lincoln, Reagan, Trump video. If you haven't watched part 1, should probably go watch it. You'll have a better understanding of what I'm showing here. In this video, I'm going to show you the Wormwood coding and Revelation coding for the Trump Tower in Chicago and Soldier Field in Chicago, and also some more Wormwood coding for Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And if you're not familiar with my channel, I show the number coding from the book of Revelation, and specifically Revelation 8:11, the Wormwood event. I believe that event will happen in Chicago and will be the event that kicks off World War III. You could also call it the nuclear football. I'll just jump right in here and show you guys the Wormwood ritual for Trump Tower in Chicago. Construction for the Trump Tower in Chicago started on March 17th, 2005, and the final spire ceremony was on January 3rd, 2009. And this is a span of 1,388 days. And also you can see that the Trump Tower in Chicago is also 1,388 feet. So you can see here they've synced up the ceremony, spire ceremony, with the height of the tower also. And what makes this a Wormwood ritual is if you enter 811 into the base 10, base 12 calculator, in base 12 you get 577, and when you add 811 to 577 you get 1388. So through the math they've established that this is a Wormwood ritual. And I'll move on to the Soldier Field ritual. Soldier Field Stadium construction began on 8/11/1922 for Revelation 8:11, and the address is 1410. If you drop the 0, you have 141, and Revelation 8:11 is the 141st verse of Revelation. So you can see they did some pretty specific coding here for Revelation. I'm going to show you some submarine rituals here. First I'm going to show you the ritual for Skull and Bones and the lost submarine, the San Juan. The ARA San Juan was lost in Argentina, off the Argentina coast, on November 15, 2017. And then we just had the story 10 days ago on March 9th about the Navy sailor who was pardoned. He took pictures of the inside of a nuclear submarine, and Donald Trump pardoned him on 3/9. And the span from 11/15/2017 to 3/9, these two submarine stories, was a difference of 3 months, 22 days. That's 3/22 for Skull and Bones. Just a little foreshadowing, or I guess you could say, for what the possible Wormwood event could be, or be the cause of it. I'm going to go back here and show you these two submarines. The United States has lost 2 nuclear submarines, and they are both in the Atlantic Ocean. The USS Thresher, number 593, and the USS Scorpion, SSBN 589. And what's significant about those numbers is 593 is the 108th prime, and the 108th verse of Revelation is Revelation 6:12. And that refers to the Great Earthquake. And I believe Chicago will be the origin of the Wormwood event and the origin of a large earthquake as well. And the Scorpion, USS Scorpion, was number 589. And what makes that a Wormwood number or ritual is the prime factorization of 589 is 19 times 31. 19 the 8th prime, 31 the 11th prime. So it makes the 811. So you have these two submarines lost in the Atlantic Ocean, and I'm going to show you one more submarine and how it relates to the 12/18/2018 date. The United States captured a German submarine in World War I. It was the German UC-97, and it was towed into Lake Michigan and sunk for target practice on June 7th, 1921. And if you run the date span from June 7th, 1921 to 12/18/2018, this is exactly 5,089 weeks. And if you drop that 0, you're back to the 589. And I'll show you on my map how they coded this ritual. These are the coordinates for the wreckage of the Scorpion and the Thresher. And if you draw a straight line from the wreckage of the Scorpion through the wreckage of the Thresher, and you continue that line into Lake Michigan, you get the approximate location of the sunk German UC-97. And there wasn't any specific coordinates for the German submarine that was sunk in Lake Michigan. It was just listed as 20 miles east of Highland Park, which is approximately where I have my little pin there. So you can see that basically the Thresher and the Scorpion point right to this submarine, which is just another 12/18 ritual. And what makes the 12/18 so significant is, I believe it's a time ritual. All the coding I've shown for December of 2018 and specifically December 18th, 2018. The 1218th minute of the day is 2018, and I believe it's a time ritual, because without that 0 we get the 218. It's a very significant number that I'm going to show you in my next video in part 3. A couple mathematical steps away from kind of solving this whole puzzle. Let's see here. What else could I show you guys? Oh, what's interesting about the Thresher and the Scorpion is that those submarines sunk or were lost exactly 267 weeks apart. And McCormick Place, which I've shown before in another video, McCormick Place Convention Center, this is listed as 267,000 square feet. So there's that 267 again. 267 weeks between the sub losses. Then you have the McCormick Hall floor is 2,670,000 square feet. And what else can I show you guys here? I've showed you this before. From Lincoln's death to when the Lincoln Memorial was added to the National Registry of Historic Places, that was 1,218 months. And I want to show you this too. Kind of the revelation and Bible ritual with Trump, between Trump and Kim Jong-un. This tweet was put out by Donald Trump on May 7th, 2014, talking about Kim Jong-un and his nuclear weapons. And then we had last summer, Trump threatened North Korea with fire and fury. And in between those two tweets and dates was 1,189 days. And there are 1,189 chapters in the Bible. Then if you go from the date, the fire and fury date on 8/8/2017, to the day that Trump and Kim Jong-un agreed to meet, that was on March 8th, 2018. Fire and fury to the meeting, agreeing on the meeting, was 212 days. And Revelation 13 is the 212th verse of Revelation, and World War III will be the 13th official war. And also what's significant about that is Abraham Lincoln, He was born on 2/12, so there's a Lincoln connection also. And I'll show you guys some more Lincoln Wormwood coding on Google Earth here. Let's see here. Go to the Lincoln Memorial, and if you measure directly from the center of the Lincoln Memorial to the center of the Washington Monument, we get 1,410 yards, and that would be a reference to the 141st verse of Revelation, which is 8:11. And you could maybe fudge these numbers a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that was the intention behind that 1,410 yards. The Washington Monument, you can see right here, is inside this little football-shaped, inside these two circles here. I believe that's called a mandorla. Anyways, that represents the nuclear football, and it's exactly 1,400, center of the Washington Monument, 1,410 yards, exactly to the center of the Lincoln Memorial. And I know this is deliberate because if you measure also from the center of the Lincoln Memorial to the center, or I should say to the Ford Theater where Lincoln was shot, assassinated, this is 1.41 miles. Let's see here. Looking at it here. Yeah, that's Lincoln Theater, or excuse me, Ford Theater to Lincoln Memorial, 1.41 miles. So they've kind of established both of these as Wormwood rituals for Revelation 8:11. And in part 3, I'm going to show you guys that this is kind of the Lincoln Memorial is the starting point for measuring the location that the nuclear football will be kicked off at. And it also gives the date, but like I said, I'll show you guys that in part 3. Let's see here. Let's see. One more thing I wanted to talk about, I guess, is this Trump meeting. I'm going to put out a specific slide style video on why I think May 21st, 2018 will be a good candidate for meeting Kim Jong-un and Trump. A lot of specific coding for that date and Wormwood, and I'm just going to put out a real short slide style video why I think May 21st will be the day they meet. Let's see if there's anything else here I can show you guys. I'll show you guys this. I have this this line marked here from Minot Air Force through U.S. Bank Stadium. I'll show you guys that. Vice President Pence visited Minot Air Force Base on October 27th, 2017. And if you draw a line from Minot Air Force Base directly through U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, what makes that significant, U.S. Bank Stadium is located on, let's see here if I can get it, is located on Chicago Avenue. Let's see if I can get it here. Let's see where Chicago Avenue is. Anyways, the address for U.S. Bank Stadium is Chicago Avenue, and the area code for U.S. Bank Stadium is 612, which is a reference to Revelation 6:12, the Great Earthquake. Minot Air Force Base directly through the U.S. Bank Stadium, and you end up in the suburb of Lincoln Park in Chicago. Find it here. Lines up right here with Lincoln Park suburb in Chicago. So you can see that there's all this Lincoln obviously Lincoln connections here. And in part 3, I guess I'll show you guys more of what more Lincoln coding. I'll show you guys these 3 lines. And what makes this Lincoln City significant over here is that was the path of the totality for the August 21st, 2017 eclipse. That was the first city to be in the path of totality, was Lincoln City. And that kind of establishes another starting point for kind of figuring this puzzle out. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess that's all I have for you guys today. I'm going to put up that slide video about May 21st, and then I'll start working on part 3. It'll probably be real short. I just want to keep that one real simple and show you guys what I think the date is for this nuclear football. It's kind of mind-blowing actually how they coded that date as a time ritual as well on the clock. It's very coded to the clock. It's specific to a time ritual. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching.